We want to make this a safe holiday season for all who use the roads, not just in Georgia, but in Tennessee and Alabama as well. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Colonel of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Colonel Tracy Trice. Colonel?
If anybody I would rather be here with than my friends from Georgia and Alabama, and Harris is a great friend of the Highway Patrol along with Kendall Poole. We've got our work cut out for us over the next few days. Memorial Day kind of kicks off the summer travel weekends and holiday period, and this sort of sets the tone for what the rest of the summer is going to be like. So we want to get off to a great start. We want to make people safe. We'll be doing a lot of enforcement work over the next 7 days. A lot of that will rotate around impaired driving, seatbelt enforcement, and in Tennessee, we still have about 13% of the population that's not wearing seatbelts. Even though we're in an all-time high of seatbelt usage at 87.7%, those 13% of those people are accounting for 50% of our fatalities. So if we can affect that 13% with our enforcement and education efforts, we're going to lower the fatality rate. So we look forward to having the opportunity to do that over the Memorial Day weekend. Our people will be out in full force. Our administrative people will be working the roads. The Tennessee legislature this year passed a bill that's going to up our seatbelt fine. Starting January 1st, it's going to go from $10 to $25 on first offense and from $20 to $50 on second offense. And we hope that's going to have an effect on our compliance rate. If we can drive that compliance rate up into the 90s, we're going to lower the fatality rate significantly. So we're looking forward to having an opportunity to affect that also. You know, right now it's trying times to be a law enforcement officer in the aftermath of Ferguson, Missouri, and Baltimore, Maryland. And one of the toughest things that these people behind me have to do is go to a house and inform somebody that their loud permit just lost their life needlessly in a traffic crash. So we're trying to do everything we can to limit those opportunities. We have to do that. And one of the things we do is try to get people to wear their seatbelts and not drive impaired. And that's a big focus for us over the next weekend. So please cooperate and don't drink and drive and wear that seatbelt. If you do those two things, we're gonna save a lot of lives. So thank you for having all the troopers from Tennessee here today. And we're proud to stand with our brothers and sisters from Alabama and Georgia, and especially the Governor Highway Safety Offices, and try to make this a safe weekend. Thank you, Harris.
Thank you, Colonel. Highway safety offices throughout the United States and in several of the territories are well served by the Governor's Highway Safety Association. We've been very fortunate in the past few years to have been led by Tennessee's Highway Safety Director, Kendall Poole. He is the chairman of the Governor's Highway Safety Association, and it's my pleasure to introduce him to you now.
It's always great to be here with Harris and all of our counterparts from Alabama and Georgia. We couldn't pull this off if we didn't have a strong partnership. And that's what we're here to talk about today. It's not just border to border, which is extremely important this time of the year and hands across the border, but it extends out to 365 days a year. We could not lower fatalities, we could not save lives without the types of partnerships that we have both with Alabama and Georgia. I can speak extremely kindly of our partners, particularly in Georgia, and Harris has been a terrific asset, not only to highway safety in the state of Georgia, but across the nation in his service as we continue to learn more about educating our folks, learn more about working with enforcement to make sure that we save lives. The bottom line is we're about saving lives, and that includes all the drinking and driving, impaired driving programs that we have. It includes the occupant protection or the seatbelt programs that we have. It includes distracted driving. It includes speed programs. It includes everything. But it's education and enforcement working together. And if we don't do that well, then I can guarantee you that we're going to see more lives lost on our roadways. So it's appropriate that we kick off our Memorial Day and our summer driving season today and talk about border to border. Let me accentuate one thing right here, and when we talk about seatbelt usage. You heard Colonel Trott talk about the Tennessee statistics, and he talked about over half of our fatalities come from about 13% of our population. So we're trying to reach high-risk drivers. Too often, every day, we all hear stories about crashes that could have been prevented. And the ways that you prevent those are by simply following the rules. If you had anything to drink, don't get behind the wheel. If you get behind the wheel, make sure that you're buckling up. And obviously don't drive distracted and watch your speed and the rules of the road. But when we talk about buckling up, there is one demographic that we still have a tough time reaching, and we're committed to reaching them, and that's pickup truck drivers. When we talk about pickup truck drivers, not only in Alabama and Georgia, but Tennessee as well, it's our lowest seatbelt usage rate that we have, and pickup trucks roll over so much easier than any other vehicle. And if you're not wearing your seatbelt, you stand the chance of easily being ejected from that vehicle. And if you're ejected from that vehicle, the chances of you surviving are extremely slim. So I'm specifically talking to a lot of folks out here, and this is not preaching, it's fact. This is what happens every day. And we don't want you to be the next statistic. And that's what we talk about, not only in Tennessee, but Alabama and Georgia as well. We've got a great proliferation of pickup truck drivers. And we want to make sure that every pickup truck driver and every vehicle driver and every vehicle occupant buckles up, because we know if everybody does that, that we're going to be able to save more lives. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
We're also delighted today to have our friends from the state of Alabama, state troopers from that great state. And let me now introduce Captain Guy Rush, who will speak for them. Captain.
Hello, I'm Captain Guy Rush. I'm the troop commander for the Huntsville area, and we're really honored to be a part this year of this initiative. I've recently transferred back into the highway patrol, and since I've been riding around, I do notice that the seatbelt usage among pickup trucks is really going down. I don't know if it's just because it's a larger vehicle and the mentality is I can survive this crash, but I love, as I was driving over here, I saw the banners across the interstate that Tennessee's got up. Pickups rock, but they also roll. I thought that was great because, yeah, you can get thrown out of that truck just as easy as you can a car. So we're real excited to start looking at that. I also noticed that the statistics show that more people are killed in not wearing their seatbelts at night. And that may just be because they know the police can't see them as well sitting in the car in nighttime as do the day. So with that in mind, we're going to really ramp up our nighttime enforcement. Now, we may not be able to see it as we drive by, but we can stop you at a driver license check, which we're going to ramp up and do, and we're really going to enforce that end of it. Yes, seatbelt safety is the one thing that you can do to save a life. One accident that I worked that has stood out for decades in my mind were 5 kids riding in a car at night. They just left the house, none of them had a seatbelt on. It happened to be the click it or ticket season that just kicked off. And the one girl in the front seat, as a joke, said, "Hey, y'all know it's click it or ticket. You better put your seatbelt on." The moment she clicked it in, a drunk crossed over, hit her head on, and killed everybody in the car except her. And at the hospital, when I interviewed her, she told me that story, that she had just clicked it in. She was the lone survivor. If that's not a testimony to wearing your seatbelt, I really don't know what is. So we're really going to get out here, we're going to work hard, and we're going to do the best we can in Alabama to stop this tragedy, at least among teenagers also. Thank you very much.
It's my honor to introduce our statewide partner in the great state of Georgia, Lieutenant Colonel Russell Powell of the Georgia State Patrol.
Thank you, Harris. I know what y'all are probably thinking, what else could be said that hadn't already been said. I was kind of thinking that myself. But I want to start out by thanking you for being here and helping us spread the word on this important message that we have. You know, for about the last 10 years, Georgia has enjoyed a reduction in traffic fatalities year after year. Every year for about 10 it has gone down, and we're very proud of that record. But this year, we are not on pace to achieve that. We are a little bit above where we need to be to have another decrease. So, you know, we're going to work extra hard. We're going to do the things that they've already talked about. Our philosophy is there's 3 things that the public can do to help us reduce fatalities. One is don't drink and drive. And if you do, make arrangements for a ride or call a ride. Don't get behind the wheel. The second thing is don't drive distracted. No texting and driving. Don't do things in the car that take your primary focus off of the road. And you know, we see people reading, we see people eating in the car, and those things shift your focus from where it should be. So don't drive distracted. And then the last thing you've heard a lot about is seat belts, in particular nighttime seat belts. About half the people that are killed in Georgia at night don't have a seat belt on, and it's mind-boggling to think that those same people would probably wear one during the daytime for fear of getting caught, but they don't put it on at night. So our message is pretty simple, and we're starting a period here that we used to refer to as the 100 deadly days of summer, and they can be deadly. More people are traveling, they're going on vacation, they're out enjoying the weather, they're going to the lake, they're doing things that it's just naturally a dangerous time on the highways. So we want to encourage folks to do that. Our troopers will be out in force. They'll be making arrests, and it's just our hope that we can achieve our goal and reduce fatalities and send more people home at night to be with their families and their friends. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there is a commitment that doesn't stop at any of the lines that divide us. All of the men and women behind me, as well as those in local sheriff's offices and police departments throughout these 3 states, are committed to making this a safe time on the roads of this region. These are not numbers for the sake of numbers. Each one of these fatalities that has occurred represents a family whose life has been changed forever. We want them to have another Memorial Day, another birthday, another anniversary, another Christmas. And there are families right now who have already experienced that this year and will have an empty seat at their table. We want to make sure that this is a safe time. Memorial Day is a time for remembering our war dead, not our traffic dead. We're going to work hard to make this a safe time, not only in this area, but throughout the eastern seaboard as we join tonight with our partners from Maine to Florida. Thank you very much.